Today is a beautiful day on the mountain. Would you like to join me and make a candle mat? And there's my little girls. Do you like making things with wool, recycling wool? How about the love of donkeys? Well, I'm going to combine the two today. I just happen to love donkeys, and my very good friend's daughter is actually a donkey whisperer. How cool is that? So grab your embroidery hoop, grab some scissors, get a cup of joe, and let's dive in. But first, look underneath the video. See the little more button? You need to click that to be able to print the free PDF patterns that I'm going to provide with you. You don't need to go anywhere else. I'm going to show you two ways how to do this. The first one, you would print it out on regular printer paper, nothing fancy. Then I cut it down roughly, and here are the two pieces. For this one, I'm going to use a basting spray. I put it on a scrap piece of paper, took my basting can, and lightly sprayed the whole back with basting spray. And then you just put it on the front and push it down and it will adhere. This is method number one with printer paper and basting spray. I will show you the other way. This is method number two. This is using inkjet printable freezer paper. Download just like you did before, save them to your computer, add this paper to your printer and print. My printer uses shiny side down. Make sure you check your printer's settings for that. And the back will be shiny. See that? That is freezer paper. You will iron that to the front side. Just like you did the other one, leave a little bit of gray area and iron it to the back. Do all your embroidery just like the other one. They're both the same. Then rip off the paper. I'm going to tell you, but then I will walk you through it. You take a piece of your iron-on interfacing on the back of that, peel off the paper, iron it to your scallop. Then the back will be free of any type of embroidery threads. It'll be nice and clean, and you won't see any of the threads that are behind this, and I will show you that. And if you're going to put these little dots on it, and you don't want the threads to show, then you can use iron-on interfacing or felt glue, which sometimes I do because it's tricky sometimes getting those little pieces of wool to stick. And this way you will have a clean back with no threads showing if you didn't want to do any sewing. So that's two methods. One, that you print it on regular paper and use a basting spray, or number two, use the inkjet printable freezer paper. Each way works well. You could print this out, and if you want to use cotton or linen, you would tape your pattern to the window using painter's tape like I did, and you can hold it over and use a Mark Be Gone, or I prefer using a pencil if I'm going to embroider, and you would just draw a solid line if you want, just like this, and then you can go back if you want and add the little tick marks. But that's up to you, or you can use the pattern as a reference, and then you can just do your diagonal lines over the solid. It really doesn't take that long of time, and do a light touch, and when you embroider over it, you won't even see it. I prefer using this way sometimes on linen or muslin. And I'll leave all the links again below to the Amazon place where I buy them, or you can actually get these from Hobby Lobby when they're half price, or buy one get one. So if you have a local Hobby Lobby, that might be a good choice. If not, do one-stop shopping on Amazon. And since this was a pair of woolen pants, I really didn't have a lot to work with, so I just took a scrap piece, sewed it on the bottom with a very large stitch, so when I get done I can just pull the threads out. But it helps it stay in the hoop because I didn't have a hoop to fit this at the present moment. And for the embroidery thread, I love using the ball of DMC Pearl number 8. I used a gray one and a black one. It's just so much easier than using DMC floss that's 6 strand and you have to take 2 strands out. It's just very cumbersome for me. This is the easier way that I prefer to go when I'm doing hand embroidering using only one color at a time. Now this is completed. This is the one I printed and used basting spray. Now I did have to put a few pins in it because it bunches up in the middle if you embroider the outside first and then try to embroider the inside. So I like to put the pins in it and embroider the inside. And now it's time to take the paper off. I like to do it in little pieces, and I like to hold my fingernail or finger on the threads. You don't have to, but this way it helps it from not pull up from the back. And once you start taking little pieces and working at it, bigger pieces will come and it'll be easy to tear like that. And again, I just like to hold my finger on the threads as I gently pull the paper off. Sometimes it gets cumbersome, sometimes it's not. Now, if a thread pulls up from the back, no worries, because you can reach underneath and pull it back through. And when you put your iron-on interfacing, it will hold it nice and tight, and you won't even know that it was loose or came up through the front. And what I find an invaluable tool is my little hemostats. I'll leave the link below to a 6-pack that you can get on Amazon for under $15. They are so useful. So you just hold your thumb on the threads again, use your hemostats, and gently pull. It really gets into the tight spaces, and I find them so valuable, and there's so many different sizes for different things that I use for my crafting. To respect your time, I'm going to go ahead off camera, take all the paper off, and then I'll be back for the next step. And here's the back. This is all finished. And here's the front that's all completed. I'm going to take the hoop off and hit it with an iron on the wool setting. And I'm using my wool mat. And you can't even feel where the basting spray was, not at all. As you may notice, I forgot to cut the circle out. That's the second time I did this, but that's okay. No worries, we can fix that. I drew a circle from the pattern on freezer paper, and I just placed it on top, ironed it, and then I cut it out, and then I proceeded with the iron-on interfacing on the back. And that's where we are now. I'm going to take the iron-on interfacing, then lay the background of the pattern I just completed, and I'm going to roughly cut it out. So I'm going to fold this up, because I don't need that much, and I'm going to draw with a pencil and then cut out on that line and then iron that on the back. Place wrong side up of your embroidery, and then place the heat and bond on top, and just adhere the two with a hot dry iron, no steam. I'm going to use the same freezer paper that I did on the last one as my template. I'm going to lay it right on top, iron it, and then cut it right out just like I did. And here it is completed. I took the freezer paper off the front, but I left the heat and bond on the back just for the moment. I have 2 pieces of fabric that was wool. They were skirts. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use the lighter one for Jenny. I think that will be really pretty. And this will be the scallop part, the actual background, just like this one. This will be behind what you just embroidered. This is an over-dyed piece. You can see where it's modeled. I have to decide which one I want facing up. And I think I want the good side, not the modeled side. So I'm going to take my template that I drew on freezer paper, not iron-on. You don't want iron-on, because once you ironed it on and put your applique in the center around the scallop facing up would be sticky or shiny. You don't want that. Again, use a dry hot iron and just iron over the freezer paper. It will peel right up. You're using this as a reference when you cut this out. I started cutting this out with the larger scissors, and I got thinking I really should use what I always use, are my little snips. They get into those little points. And if you're cutting along and it starts peeling up, just hit it with the hot iron again and continue cutting it out. And when you're all done, just peel the freezer paper off. No stickies. You can just lightly score it with scissors or a pin, and it will crack it open. Remove the heat and bond so you can peel the paper completely off. Just take your time. You don't want to pull up any threads. And there you have it. And place it in the center. You can eyeball this. This is very easy to do. Use a dry hot iron. Give it some pressure, hold it on, let that adhere, because wool on wool with heat and bond sometimes takes a little extra time. Flip it over and do the same thing. You may have to repeat this process several times. Just check your work, let it cool a second, flip it back over, and use your finger to pull up along the edges. You'll know when it's not stuck or when it is. Just repeat it several times, but take your time. This is important. Now it would have gone a lot quicker if I would have used the steam too, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And I think it's done. For the little circles, I took a piece of heat and bond, not freezer paper, ironed it back to a scrap piece of wool, and I'm using my Rose of Sharon Acu quilt, and then I fan folded it into thirds, put it over the circle, cranked it through, and then I cut out my circles. I admit I could not cut those circles that perfect, and they already have the heat and bond on the back. I'll just take the paper off and iron them down. I just score the back with a little pin, and just go ahead and audition them where they're all going to go before you iron them to make sure they look well. And you don't have to have interfacing on the whole back. You can use a little glue to hold it. Iron it on the front, iron it on the back, repeat until they're all adhered. Use your fingernail and pull on those to make sure they're adhered. If not, use a little glue. Use the iron again. Sometimes it takes several times, especially for these little ones. They seem harder to hold. This is just a straight stitch and little stitching. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I don't want it to be perfect. But if you wanted to go the next step, leave it just like this and not have it embroidered yet. You can embroider the whole entire thing, and then all your back would be the stitchings. Then you could take a back piece like this, iron it on. I would recommend using steam too for wool on wool. Back of this whole thing, peel it off, iron this on, so when you looked there, you don't see any of the stitches. Then you could do a blanket stitch all the way around this after you cut it out. And I'm going to show you a few of the other stitches I was talking about. If you wanted to go this route, where you wanted to do more stitching here, this could be a blanket stitch instead of a running stitch. You don't have to use this. You could literally make this a blanket stitch, or you could do little French knots all the way around. Get creative. The whole point was to get you started on making something. The Easy Steam 2 is so much better than the Heat and Bond for wool on wool. So there's Jenny and there's Jack. And as you see, they're facing each other like this. And I wanted to do a purple for Jenny, but you don't have to. You can dress this up, do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. No, they're not perfect, but they are cute and they'd make a great gift. Something you could be proud of. You put your candle on one, and then this one can be next to it, whatever you want. You can come in and do a blanket stitch, even if you're not going to do the back. A blanket stitch would be nice on the front and the back. It's not something that has to have another piece to it. You can do a blanket stitch on a single piece of wool, and it would look really nice, and it doesn't take that much time. Now here is a few of the examples I was telling you about. If you wanted to do on the circles, and if you wanted to do the blanket stitch, doesn't take much time. You could do it around the perimeter, or you could do it around the inside piece where you did the embroidery instead of doing dashes. And then the little French knots you could put in the middle of each one. I use that paper on anything with writing like this. I could never do that, and I can't draw on the dark. So I use the paper like we did on this, freezer paper, and then you just tear it off. And if you want to see my other wool videos, look up there. Check out my craft playlist, and I show a lot of these throughout my home of the ones that I have done through the years with wool applique. Please drop a comment below or a suggestion, and as always, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell, all notification, and this is Jersey saying see you on the next video.